Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Jeet Ki Pathshala. So today we are going to cover a very important topic, and that is story writing. And I hope everyone likes story. So let's see how we can actually write story in English. And this is a very important topic for class 8, 9 and 10, which carries at least 5 or 6 marks. So let's begin it. So now let's see what is a story. A story is a narration of a set of fictions, event used to convey a moral message. In story writing, the pupils are given some outlines and they are to develop the story. So here we came to know that the story is a narration of a set of fictions event that gives us some lessons, that teach us some very important lessons of our life. And in the exam, we get the outline. With the help of the outline, we can start writing a story. So outlines are mainly of three kinds, like full or detailed outline, which gives us a full information about a story. Next is bare outline, that is a short description about a story. And then we can just expand the story in our own way. And number 3, incomplete outline. So these are kinds of outline. Today we will learn the way of writing stories. Of course, we all know how to write a story, isn't it? We all have been writing stories. But if we talk about the English composition, there are some rules which we should obey it while writing a story. So let's see what are those rules. So some important tips to write a story are, so here you can say number 1, write at least 200 to 250 words. So a story should be written within 250 words. Number 2, do not use supernatural character, that is vampires, aliens, superhero, etc. So while writing a story, we should always remember that we should not use any supernatural character like alien or superheroes or vampires. In this story writing, it actually related with the maturity of writing. So here a story teaches us some lessons. It gives us some important lessons. So for that reason also, we should not use any supernatural character while writing a story. And of course your outline will also be in such a way where you cannot use supernatural character. Number 3, do not make it too long. So already in the first point we have seen that we need to write a story in 200 to 250 words. So we should not make it too long. Number 4, start with the word given in the outline. So in the outline, the words will be given. As we will begin our story, we should start with the word given in the outline. Number 5, the writer must have a clear-cut idea of the entire plot of the story. So while writing a story, before you start a story, as you will see the outline, you should set the whole story in your mind before writing the story. So that will make you easier in writing a story. Number 6, logical sequence of the event. So whatever story you will be writing, it should be prepared in a proper sequence. In the next part, we will discuss about this logical sequence, that how you can write in a proper way. Number 7, a proper conclusion. And remember that the conclusion should be proper and that actually teach an important lesson. Number 8, avoid spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. Yes, this is a very important part. Whenever we are actually writing anything in English, yes, we should always remember to avoid spelling mistake and grammatical errors, which is a very important part in English grammar. Next, number 9, the story must be written in the past tense and in a simple language. So the story, as you will start a story, the story should be in the past tense, and just remember this form, subject plus second form of verb plus object. So as you are starting a story, just remember that you need to write in past indefinite form. So you will write a subject, the second form of verb an object. So in this way, if you will follow this particular form, then there will be no grammatical errors. And in a simple language, and always try to write in a simple language. Number 10, a small dialogue introduced in the story gives it beauty and naturalness. And yes, whenever you are writing a story, remember to use some dialogue. Dialogue, which means to write the sentence in direct speech. Remember, if you will write dialogue in such a way as to show that the characters are talking with each other, so those things, if you write in direct speech, then it will be very interesting to read, and even it will help you to secure marks. Number 11. The heading of the story must be carefully chosen, as it should be impressive and attractive. And yes, the heading, that means the title of the story, should be carefully chosen. And here I want to just tell you that whenever you are writing the heading, you just leave the heading to write after you complete the story, because at a moment you will not be able to think about what kind of heading or title you will give for that particular story. So it will be better if you leave the title to be written after you complete the story. So these are some of the important tips to write a story. So if you will follow this particular tips, it will be very easy for you to secure good mark. So now here I will show you the scheme of writing the story. So this is how you will write. Like, as you will start a story, just start happily. That means good things should be written in the beginning of the story. Then after that, in the second paragraph, there will be a problem. And yes, after that you will have a twist, and if there is no twist, there will be no interest in reading a story. So if you will create some twist in the story, it will attract the reader to read your story. After that, you will give a solution for that problem, that a problem was created. So now what the solution will be. So a solution should be given. At the end, the conclusion. Of course, in the conclusion, you will write about what you have understood from the story, what actually it teaches us. So those things you have to write in the story. So this is a small scheme to present a story in a proper way. Now let's see the next part. So here I have prepared some elements of the story. What are the things you should remember while writing a story? At first, a character. A character is a very important thing in a story. The main character, the sub character. In the outline you will find a main character, you will find the name of some person, or it might be an animal, anything it might be. So you just find out which is the character in the story. Character, we can say the protagonist or the hero. So at first you find out the character, the main character and the sub character. After that you think about the plot, that what kind of situation or problem is going to be arise in this story. After you create a problem, then you should find a solution for that particular problem, that what kind of solution should be given, and then the conclusion. So these are some of the elements while writing a story. So if you remember this particular thing, it will be very easier for you to write a story. And then here you have some markers and linkers. Now what is markers and linkers? Linkers that join two paragraphs or ideas to improve the language. I have seen most of the students, whenever they write a story, they always use the word then. They repeat the same word then. And then this thing happened, and then after that, no, and then. So this is a very common word which actually doesn't give a good starting or good finishing in the story. So here there are some words like thus, therefore, further, furthermore, hence, moreover. So in place of then, you can use this given words. Okay, these are the linkers that join two paragraphs or ideas, so that it will improve your language. Just avoid the use of then. In place of then, you can use this word. And you can even use words like in the meantime, soon, suddenly, however, finally, etc. Even you can use these words in the story, which will give a very good look in the story. So these are some of the important things which you should remember while writing a story. Now let's see the next part. Now here I have prepared that what are the important things you should use while writing a story in a paragraph wise. A story should at least be 3 to 4 paragraphs, but here I will show you the 3 paragraphs. If you are writing a story in 3 paragraphs, what are the things you should use paragraph wise? So at first you will put a title or the heading. Before you start a story, I have already mentioned that you can leave a space to write the title or the heading. If suddenly it doesn't come in your mind, you can leave it and you can write it after completing the story. So after that, in paragraph 1, what are the things you will actually introduce here? In the story, introduction is not important. Don't write any introduction. So when you will start the paragraph, first use phrases like once upon a time, long ago, it happened so, etc. Okay. Now after that, the beginning should catch the reader's attention. So as you will start the story, the beginning should attract the reader's mind. When the reader is reading, he should get attracted towards your story. Number 3, introduce the character, and after that, in that same paragraph, you will introduce the characters, that who are the characters here. Okay. Number 4, follow the sequence in a proper way. So you should follow the sequence in a proper way. It should not be like at first you will put the conclusion and then you will put the characters. No, not in such a way. You should follow the sequence. If you will follow the sequence in a proper way, like from 1, 2, 3, in that proper sequence you have to follow. And number 5, the story should be meaningful, and the story should also be meaningful. So these are some of the important things you should remember while writing paragraph 1. Now let's move on to the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, first you will develop the plot, description of an event, incident, accident in detail. Okay, so develop the plot, that means you will describe the event or the incident or whatever the accident occurred, whatever the problem was, you will describe in detail. Number 2, the type of a plot may be adventurous, scary, mystery, a suspense, a comic, etc. And the type of a plot, it can be adventurous, it can be a scary one, there can be some mystery in that plot, or any suspense or any comedy. So these are the things you can use it. So you should think about what kind of plot is that. And after that, let's move on to the third paragraph. In paragraph 3, you will write the climax, that means the end of the story, that is the conclusion of the story. The end of the story should be clear and satisfied or most interesting. The conclusion should be most interesting one and it should satisfy the readers. Number 2, it can be a happy or sad ending. So the ending can be happy or sad. It is not necessary that every ending will be a happy one or a sad one. There can be a happy or sad ending. If it is a sad one, don't try to forcefully end it in a happy way. Write in the way as it is. And number 3, make sure that the story has a moral. And at last, you should write the moral. But remember, don't write the moral like the moral is that, the moral of the story is that. No. At the end of the story, you will just write moral. You will put a hyphen and you will give a moral. That's what you have learned from the story. So these are some of the very important things which you should remember while writing a story. So here, this is an exercise. An outline will be given in such a way. Okay, a boy in the village belonged to a family of shepherds. Take his sheep and goats to a hill. Thought of some mischief. Cried wolf, wolf. Farmers heard his shout. Reaching there, found that there it was only a joke. Farmers decided to never believe the boy. Next day, the boy repeated the same thing. Nobody came to help him. The boy died. So this is the outline. In the exam, in this way, an outline will be given, and with the help of this outline, you have to prepare a story. Just remember that the outline can be in present form also, but don't be confused there. Though the outline will be in the present form, but still while writing a story, you will use the past indefinite form, that is second form of verb. I will just show you the story. You can read it out. I hope these tips of writing a story will help you a lot. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching the video.